Meowy Halloween! What can you say about this movie? It's starring a cat, and the cat can talk. I don't know how he trained his cat to talk, but he needs to tell me so I can train my cat to talk. I also want to train my dog to talk, so I really need to know how to train these animals to talk. And it's a hair-raising good time. By hair-raising, I mean it stars animals. Because that's what they say about every animal movie that has ever come out around Halloween time. Starts out with a psychic, and I mean that in the word psychic, because all psychics are fake, so I don't have to use the little signals. All psychics are fake, cursing a man, so his son will be stupid and inept, and will have no hopes and dreams. Unlike the rest of us who have shattered hopes and dreams. I think it would be better to have no hopes and dreams, personally. Cursing a cop so his son will have no hopes and dreams and be stupid. And then we meet his son, who is a clown and a cop. And tells his cat that cats can see ghosts. And his cat's like, what? And his cat has a dream about a ghost. And then his cat talks to his mouse, who at least I think it's a mouse. It might be a hamster. It might be a rat. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on small rodents. I do not like them though, so I do not have any expertise on telling the difference between them. But it talks too. Its name is Chuck. The cat's name is Whiskers. The ghost number is Jody, and it's Mrs. Barry's dog that died, which the Wally, the cop, couldn't save, and he regrets it to this day. So he has a stogie and a drinking problem. He drinks probably apple juice, though we never see him drink anything. And his stogies are pretzels. You wonder how he smokes them? You'd think the salt would get in the way, but apparently it doesn't. And he's investigating this lady who's turning children into monsters. Which, children are already monsters. She's just putting costumes on them. What was that quote by Bill Cosby? Children are terrible people. They truly, truly are. And that's from Bill Cosby, who was a terrible, terrible person. Or is a terrible, terrible person. Well, his partner Roy goes out and does real police work with a mummy and other things. Meanwhile, the skeleton delivers a box full of tapes to Whiskers, who then watches them and says it proves there's a ghost. So she watches this ghost guy who says ghosts aren't real. And then she watches a ghost hunter who tells you exactly how to hunt ghosts. Turn the lights off. You turn, and then you yell ghost. And if you yell ghost enough, the ghosts will come to you. Trust me, this works. I've done it, and I got like a dozen ghosts around me. And then we all started having a group chat, and then they held an intervention for me because they thought I was smoking too much. So it's not always fun to get ghosts. So then, Whiskers, while Wally's still investigating the lady, now dressed up as Santa Claus because he's undercover, Whiskers is buying ghost hunting equipment and talks to a ghost expert over Skype. And the ghost expert gets mad that he's talking to a cat and swears he's never doing it again. Now, as many of you know, Skype was mostly cats. So if you did use Skype, you're most likely talking to a cat. Unlike Zoom, which is mostly which is mostly hamsters. If you're talking on Zoom, you're more than likely talking to a hamster. But the difference is the cats use their webcam, the hamsters don't. So you see somebody on Zoom without a webcam on, it's more than likely a hamster. So then Whiskers buys his book, The Necronomicon. As Wally confronts the lady after beating up one of her customers. Sorry, I got a cough today. And finds out she's just making costumes for people. And she's not a witch. At least she doesn't admit to being a witch. She still might be a witch, but she doesn't admit to it. Because witches can make costumes. Witches can eat apples. Witches live next door to you. They just perform spells in the woods at night. And make potions. And are called Wiccans. And the weird religion Madonna is. Where it's Jewish, but it's witchcraft. Yeah, whatever it is. Kabbalah or whatever it is. Anyways, back to Whiskers, who is getting ready to summon the ghost. She is reading Latin. So you could also tell me how to teach my cat to read Latin. Because I can't read Latin, but I love my cat to be able to read Latin. And then this hedgehog shows up and talks about how her boy got a bath in the house and now she's back for revenge. And it was her that did the tapes. But all of a sudden, Whiskers reads the last word, and Jody shows up for revenge. But then, Wally comes home with a bottle of Miak. But Jody goes into Wally's body. But Whiskers throws the Miak at him. So Jody comes out, and Wally reads the final 3 words that get rid of the ghost. Platu, Parada, Nicholas. No, that's not it. Platu, Parada, Claptrap. No, that's not it. It's some combination of these words. And the ghost goes away. And then Wally says, Wally adopts the hedgehog and says he has to have a talk with Whiskers when he gets home. And it all ends happily ever after. Now, I personally tell my cat when I leave the house, no wild parties and no burning down the house. I guess I'm going to have to add no summoning ghosts or demons. And that is a Meowy Christmas. Join me next week. We will talk about something on the wrestling show. And we will go over Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. See ya then.